Welcome back to the workshop of Howard Piano Industries. Today we're going to be showing you the different keytop options that we have available. From time to time a piano's keytops get either worn or chipped or broken, or they come off if they're real ivories. They can become unglued, and so from time to time they may need to be replaced. And there are some different options that you have in choosing which type of keytop that you'd like to have. So we're going to go over the ones that we have that you can choose from. We're going to start here with some sets of keytops without fronts. These here are what are called simulated ivory keytops. They're not real ivory, but they're a plastic that's engineered and made to look similar to real ivory. It's not an exact look, but if I hold it up here to the camera, you can see that there's kind of a grained look to it. That's got some similarities to ivory. So that's an option that we have. We sell it in a full set of 52, or you can just buy one octave if you just have a few keytops that you want to replace. These are our most popular option. They're a good option for replacing keytops on an older piano that maybe originally had ivories on them, but for one reason or another they either chipped or they've come off and are broken, that they need to be replaced. Another option is sometimes the ivory, if you've got real ivory keytops on your piano, which by the way, we do have a video that on our YouTube channel here that you can see that shows you how to tell if your piano keytops are real ivory. But generally, real ivory piano keytops are in two different pieces. Usually the head and the tail are two separate pieces. This part up here, down here at the that you would usually press with your finger, that's the head, and then the skinnier part here that goes between the black notes or the sharps, that would be the tail. Okay, in most ivory keytops, those are two separate pieces. So you might have a piano where some of the heads have come off and you want to just replace the missing heads, which we do sell replacement head pieces. Okay, so those that's an option. Of course, we also sell replacement tail pieces. The tails don't come off or fall off as often as the heads do. For I think the main reason is that ivory is porous, and so it absorbs the moisture in our fingers, and that moisture goes down through the ivory and will release the glue over time. It takes many years generally for that to happen, but that's why heads generally fall off more often than the tails. Okay, this piece here is what's called a front. Okay, and this is also simulated ivory to match the simulated ivory keytops. The fronts are the vertical portion of the key. Okay, so that would be this part that goes below the front of the key, below the keytop. So we have simulated ivory fronts, full keytops, and heads and tails all available. Then we also have keytops without fronts, and we'll show you in a moment some keytop options that have the fronts attached, but these are white keytops without fronts. Okay, so the same thing, just except they're white in color, solid white. So we have those, and we also have the white key fronts if you're looking for those. So those are the keytops that we have that don't have the fronts attached. We also sell individual sharps, or sets of sharps I should say. So we have these available in either 3.5 inch long or 3 3/4 inch long. So those are available also. Of course, you have to take the old sharps off. We do have a video available on our website and in our YouTube channel that shows the process of replacing keytops, which if you're doing is hopefully a real helpful video for you. Now, and keytops with fronts attached, which are good to have, because usually if your tops are broken or chipped, you're going to have to replace the fronts too in most cases, because what happens if you go to put white keytops on and you're leaving the old fronts oftentimes the fronts, even though they may not be chipped or broken, may have discolored over time. So that's how you want to determine. And if the fronts and the tops are different colors, it's a little bit distracting and doesn't have a real good look. So oftentimes you're going to want to replace both the tops and the fronts. This is the style that we've been selling for quite some time here now, and we sell a lot of these, but these come in octave sections. Okay, so all the heads are formed together, so you got to break these apart and then file the excess off where they were attached between the heads. Okay, so those are an economical option, not quite as easy to install as the ones that are separate pieces, which I'll show you in a moment. But that's a good option. And generally, people say, well, are they an exact fit for my keys? Well, there's some slight variations from one piano to another as far as maybe length of head, the width of the tail, and so forth. So generally, and if you watch our video on how to install Keytops, there's some filing that needs to be done for a perfect fit. So you'll glue the Keytops on, install them, and then you'll have to do some filing. So if you watch our video on piano Keytop replacement, you'll see how to do that. This other style of piano Keytops with fronts we just started carrying recently, and each Keytop is a separate piece. They're not attached together like the last set that I showed you. These are a little more expensive, but they're easier to install, and actually the plastic is a little bit thicker, so they're a little more durable. The head thickness, I don't believe, is any different or not significantly different, but these are a better product, and these are the ones we actually use in our demonstration video. So if you watch that, these are the Keytops we're using. So we have those available now on our website and in our eBay store if you shop on eBay. Now the best glue for installing any of the Keytops is the PVC e-glue. I found it's the best glue for attaching Keytops because you don't have to do a lot of major clamping. You do some slight clamping when you go to put them on, but you don't have to clamp them for very long. So it works real good, and it is a water-based glue, so it's easy to remove the Keytops later on if you need to replace them again. So those are our options that we have for piano Keytops that are available on our online store at howardpianoindustries.com. Feel free to visit there and let us know if you have any questions.